What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got a new build series for you. We're gonna take $10,000 and we're gonna see what we can do to this 1993 Toyota 4Runner. This is gonna be a beginning to end build. So currently, right now, it has a 3.0 motor. It's got a blown head gasket. Everybody knows that 3.0s are common for blown head gaskets. The problem with this is that back in there's a crossover tube that runs behind the motor and dumps down on the driver's side. Got on LC Engineering. I love working with LC Engineering. Their shipping times are usually pretty good. Yesterday, it said that they were like 4 to 6 weeks lead time on most of their shipping. So it's gonna take a while, but I ordered new headers for this. When you're replacing the head gasket, you don't have to order headers. You can do a crossover delete to delete the crossover, and then you just take it to an exhaust shop, run it from the passenger side down the side. You can do dual exhaust or whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? Also did order an intake so I can get rid of all this rubber nasty looking stuff. It'll come right off the intake manifold. Nice clean pipe, K&N filter. Again, not necessary, but it's what I like to do, you know what I mean? So while I was on LC Engineering, instead of shipping these heads off and sending them off and having them get machined and sent back, I did order Street Performer headers for this. Once again, absolutely don't have to do it when you're replacing the head gasket, but it's something that I wanted to do. So just to see if I can get a little bit more power out of this versus leaving it stock. I'd be asking yourself, why not just change this over to a 3.4? I mean, I thought about it long and hard, but I do want to see if I can make this a bulletproof 3.0. The reliability, I mean, is going to be there because with a trail rig crawler, you're not going to be driving it on the road. If you're daily driving it, you know, and you're putting a lot of miles on it, you might go through another head gasket. But in my opinion, as much as I drive and my crawlers don't really get a whole lot of miles on them, it's gonna last a long time, so we'll see. Some of the other parts that I did order, it comes with the EGR block off kit to get rid of this whole shit show in here. Ordered a new radiator. I've had problems with these Toyota radiators right in here. They're kind of welded right back in here. On the 83, I did go with a Champion radiator. Same for this, it's 250 bucks, replaces the radiator. It's gonna, you know, hold up to the test of time in rocks. Mine hasn't. I've never had a problem with my Champion radiator. A lot of people swear by Griffin, and I mean, if you want to spend that extra money on a Griffin radiator, you do you, boo. On to some other parts that I did order. High pressure power steering pump. We'll replace this with the trail gear just like I did on the 83 last weekend. The part is when you do that, this AC fan gets in the way. You have AC that's currently working. You will not have AC that's currently working according to them. I don't know if I can extend the lines out and move it over here to the driver's side. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. In the process of looking for a Toyota solid axle. For some reason, when I have money to purchase a Toyota solid axle, I can't find them. But when I don't, you know, have the money or the need for one, I can find them all day. The original plan was to do an exo cage on the outside of this 4Runner to kind of protect some of the windows and give the body a little bit of protection. The only problem with that is you see a lot of guys, they'll run a tube right up here and it'll come across and then dive down right behind the back door back here. Problem with that is all this tube up in here is unsupported. So if you take a hard impact, boom, right there, chances are it's gonna crumple down in the cab and it didn't do you any good. Because you can't run a B-pillar bar through here or you'll lose functionality of your front door, or a lot of guys will weld the rear door shut. Sure, you could probably come through the roof up in here and hole saw a hole right there. Your B-pillar hoop to the inside, which if you want a harness bar, that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to run some type of cage through the interior. So with that being said, I ordered a Rogue Fab tube bender. It should be here in a couple weeks, that was $1,000 bill. It's not gonna be associated with the build because technically it's tooling. But along with that, it's $1,000. I ordered 100 feet of DOM tube. I'm sure I'll probably need more, but it is gonna get an interior cage put in here like the Toyota, but custom built. The whole interior needs to be pretty much gutted of all carpet and seating, which isn't that big of a deal. The front seats are gonna get changed out for Corpo seats, probably the center console to make room for the dual transfer case shifters that are gonna be going in here is gonna probably be custom with, you know, like an ammo can, like the 83, because I like that idea, and it's a waterproof storage. The back seats as well. Don't like the bench seat. I'd rather have 2 bucket seats in the back for the passengers. That way they have their own separate seating. They can lean them back if there's enough room back here, because we're gonna have to build some kind of custom tool storage in the back here. As far as the doors, they're gonna get half door just like the 83, at least on the front. On the rear, we do have like a 7.5-year-old daughter, so I don't want her to be able to stick her arms out the vehicle. So we'll probably leave the back doors full doors for right now, and then as time goes on and she gets older, I'll end up half door in the back doors as well. The rear of these 4Runners, they run like a 3-link in the rear, which is a shit 3-link because there's no way to change any of the geometry of that 3-link. And most everybody just converts the back to leaf springs and cuts all the brackets off in the back. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be running Chevy 63-inch rears in the back of this. So the rear back here, probably end up having to cut up that fender and probably part of this bumper. We're gonna pull this bumper off. It was originally on here, clean this up, repaint it. It's again, not necessary, but it's something that I like. I like my shit to look, you know, like good, you know? So anyways, show you kind of the idea that I was thinking for tool storage back here. We're gonna run 37s. Whatever size tires are on the 83 are gonna stay on this. So if my tires end up getting changed out for 40s or 37s, you know, like I'm currently running 37s, this is gonna run 37s, same size tires, same size wheel. That way this can use the spare tire and we don't have to take up the space in here for a spare tire, because that's one thing in the 83 that eventually, as time goes on, is just gonna get wiped off the slate, and I'll carry tools to fix the tire on the trail. It is a manual transmission, so it's got an R150F transmission in here, which bolts up to a chain drive transfer case. Doing away with that, we got to get rid of it so we can do the dual transfer case. But with that being said, to go from an R150F to a 4-cylinder transfer case, you have to buy a $500 adapter that adapts that transmission to a gear-driven transfer case. And then you have to buy the adapter to go dual transfer case. Today in March, I think it's the 8th or 9th. I'm not sure, all right? But I have purchased all the stuff to do the head gasket. That was $2,406. All the adapters and suspension components will be purchased today. And that's gonna be, I think last night when I was putting it all in the cart, it was $5,000 and something. So as of right now, we're $8,000 into this build and I haven't even got any parts yet. So we're waiting on parts. Everything is gonna be showing up fairly soon. And then this build is gonna just take off like you wouldn't believe every weekend. And it's gonna be a busy year. We got a lot of wheeling trips that we gotta do and a lot of work to do on this. And we're gonna film everything so you guys can see what it takes to do an IFS swap, what it takes to change a head gasket, what it takes to build the roll cage, what it takes to convert this over to dual transfer cases, the storage compartment in the back. All that stuff is gonna be in this build series, and I'm gonna film everything. That way there's no questions, you know? Like, I want this channel to be the best Toyota channel that's out there.